The Pentagon is defending the failed attempt to rescue a group of hostages, including slain journalist James Foley. CBS 13's Beth Jones is live in the studio with more on what the White House is saying and what Foley's parents are now asking for from them and the country. Beth.
Well, Adrian, today Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel told Americans they are developing a long-term strategy to deal with ISIL, the group responsible for Foley's death. He called them a long-term threat and said the administration would do everything they could to get the remaining hostages home safely. Everything, that is, except give in to ISIL's demands. Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel joined with the entire country today in mourning what he calls the savage execution of journalist James Foley. But he also defended the failed operation earlier this summer that was supposed to bring Foley and the other hostages home, but didn't.
This operation, by the way, was a flawless operation, but the hostages were not there.
Foley's parents spoke to the media the day the video showing their son's brutal murder was deemed authentic. As they mourn, their thoughts are also with the Americans still in captivity, fellow Americans who at one point found comfort in Foley's unique spirit.
There were so many stories the freed hostages have told us about his humor and his love and his just the way to give each other comfort and joy, even in the midst of that horrible situation.
We do not make concessions to terrorists.
At one point, ISIL demanded more than $100 million for Foley's release. And through the statement they forced Foley to read before his beheading, made it clear that the fate of at least one other journalist, Steven Sotloff, hinges on the U.S. campaign in Iraq stopping. Today, the Obama administration is taking a hard line on both.
We believe that paying ransoms or making concessions would both put all Americans overseas at greater risk for kidnapping and in harm's way.
The United States and the international community will increase support for Iraq in tandem with political progress.
In the meantime, James Foley's parents have spoken to President Obama.
We beg that they might consider other ways of dealing such that Stephen and the others might be spared.
They are praying for unity and peace.
Let's come together as a country, please. Don't criticize one another. Jim was a great American, and he believed in the very best of our country.
Many around the world are reaching out to support the Foley family. That now includes Pope Francis. John and Diane Foley received a phone call from the Pope today. A Vatican spokesperson says he reached out to offer his condolences and to assure the family he was praying for them. In the studio, Beth Jones, CBS 13 News. Greg and Adrian, back to you.